The Awakening. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewing port of the Thought's Edge, watching the swirling quantum fields that only she could see. To any external observer, her vessel appeared to be a modest research ship, unremarkable among the thousands of similar craft that plied the space lanes between Earth and its handful of declared colonies. But appearances, humanity had learned long ago, were the perfect cloak. The quantum fields rippled with increasing disturbance, confirming what the ship's consciousness had already whispered to her through their neural link. Something was wrong at the edge of Proxima Coalition space. The patterns of probability were shifting in ways she'd never seen before, creating discordant ripples in the fabric of reality itself. Area, she subvocalized to the ship's consciousness. Are you seeing this? Yes, Sarah. The quantum disruption patterns match nothing in our historical database. Whatever's causing this isn't simply manipulating space-time. It's consuming it. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. In the 3 centuries since humanity had discovered consciousness-based technology, they'd maintained their masquerade as a relatively primitive species. Earth ships still used conventional drives in public, carefully hiding their true capabilities. Their colonies appeared modest, their technology deliberately unremarkable, all while they quietly explored the true nature of reality, learning to work in harmony with the conscious universe rather than trying to bend it to their will. But nothing in their centuries of secret advancement had prepared them for what she was witnessing now. Send a priority quantum pulse to command, she ordered. Full sensory package marked urgent. Already done, Area replied. But Sarah, the disruption is expanding exponentially. The Proxima Coalition's outer settlements will be reached in less than 30 minutes. Sarah's fingers danced across her neural interface, bringing up the public communications channels. The coalition frequencies were alive with routine chatter. Trade negotiations, ship movements, the normal business of a thriving civilization. They had no idea what was coming. The choice before her was stark. The Thought's Edge could reveal itself, demonstrate capabilities that would shatter Earth's carefully maintained facade and evacuate at least some of the settlements. Or they could maintain their cover and watch billions die. Area, plot me the probability streams for both choices. Full quantum simulation. The ship's consciousness merged more deeply with her own, and together they traced the branches of possibility. In one set of futures, they revealed themselves, saved thousands, but potentially triggered a cascade of consequences that could tear the galaxy apart. In another, they stayed hidden, preserved Earth's secret advancement, but carried the weight of those deaths forever. But there was a third option threading between the two extremes. Engineering. She called over the ship's comm. Initiate Protocol Omega. Full quantum cloak. The Thought's Edge hummed as it shifted partially out of conventional reality, becoming virtually undetectable to any known form of scanning. It was one of humanity's most closely guarded secrets, the ability to exist simultaneously across multiple probability states. Take us in closer, Area. Let's see exactly what we're dealing with. As they approached the quantum disturbance, the true horror of the situation became clear. It wasn't simply a weapon or an attack. It was as if reality itself was being unmade. The perfect order of quantum fields was dissolving into pure entropy, leaving nothing but void in its wake. Through the ship's enhanced sensors, Sarah watched the first coalition settlement fall. One moment it was there, a thriving outpost of 50,000 souls. And the next it simply ceased to exist, its very probability of existence reduced to zero. My God, she whispered. They're not just killing them. They're erasing them from ever having been. Sarah, Area's thoughts carried an urgent tone. I'm detecting consciousness patterns at the center of the disturbance, but they're unlike anything we've encountered. It's as if they're anti-consciousness, the opposite of organized thought. The implications hit her like a physical blow. Humanity's greatest breakthrough had been recognizing that consciousness itself was a fundamental force of the universe, as essential as gravity or electromagnetism. They'd learned to work with it, to shape reality through harmony rather than force. But these beings, whatever they were, seemed to be consciousness turned inside out, entropy given thought and purpose. Command confirms receipt of our initial report, Area announced. They're requesting immediate return to Earth for emergency counsel. Sarah's hands clenched at her sides as she watched another settlement blink out of existence. The Coalition's military vessels were arriving now, their conventional weapons passing harmlessly through the entropy field. They couldn't even see what was killing them. Plot fastest course home, she ordered. But first, Area, can you isolate a quantum signature from these beings? Something we can track. Already done. But Sarah, there's something else. The pattern of their advance isn't random. They're following a path, and if I extend it, Sarah saw it in her mind through their neural link. The path of destruction wasn't aimed at the Coalition at all. They were just in the way. The entropy beings were heading straight for Earth. Maximum speed, she ordered. And prepare a full synthesis of everything we've observed. Earth needs to know exactly what's coming. The thought's edge slipped between probability streams, achieving speeds that would seem impossible to the rest of the galaxy. But Sarah barely noticed their progress, her mind racing through the implications of what they'd discovered. For centuries, humanity had hidden its true capabilities, developing their technology in secret while presenting a modest face to the galaxy. They'd known that someday they would need to emerge from the shadows, to share what they'd learned about working in harmony with the conscious universe. They'd just never imagined it would be like this. As Earth grew larger in their viewing port, Sarah prepared herself for the battle to come. Not just against these entropy beings, but the harder fight, convincing humanity to step out of the shadows at last, and hoping the galaxy could forgive their deception in time to face this threat together. We're being hailed, Area announced. Emergency council is already convened. Put them through, Sarah said, straightening her uniform. And Area, thank you for everything we're about to face. We face it together, the ship's consciousness replied. As humanity always has. The communication screen lit up, and Sarah Chen prepared to deliver the news that would change the course of human history. The time for hiding was over. The real question was whether the galaxy was ready for what humanity had become, breaking the silence. The emergency council chamber hummed with tension as the holographic displays showed the destruction of the Proxima Coalition settlements. 50 council members, representing Earth's hidden power structure, watched in silence as reality itself was erased from existence. 3 billion lives, Admiral Zhang said quietly when the replay ended. Gone in less than 6 hours. Not just killed, written out of existence itself. Sarah Chen stood at attention before the semicircle of leaders, her neural link to Area providing quiet support. The ship's consciousness was patched into the chamber's quantum network, sharing its direct observations of the entropy beings. And you're certain of their trajectory? Counselor Rodriguez asked, her weathered face grave. There's no doubt, Sarah confirmed. They're moving directly toward Earth. At their current pace, they'll reach us in less than 2 months. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices as the council members argued. Sarah caught fragments of competing proposals, everything from full military mobilization to attempting to redirect the entropy beings toward other systems. Silence. The command came from Director Helena Walsh, head of the Quantum Development Division. All eyes turned to the slight woman whose work had revolutionized humanity's understanding of consciousness-based technology. We all know what this means, Walsh continued. The decision we feared for 3 centuries has been forced upon us. We can no longer hide what we've become. The galaxy isn't ready, Counselor Jones objected. You've seen how they react to even minor technological advantages, if we reveal our full capabilities. They'll fear us, Walsh finished. Yes, they'll fear us, they'll hate us for our deception, and some will likely try to destroy us. But if we don't act, there won't be a galaxy left to fear anything. Sarah cleared her throat. If I may, Counsel, there's something else you need to see. Through her neural link, She shared Aria's analysis of the entropy being's quantum signature. The holographic displays shifted, showing the complex patterns of anti-consciousness that define their existence. They're not just destroying reality, she explained. They're consuming organized consciousness itself. Every mind they erase adds to their power. And there's evidence that they've done this before, in other galaxies. The implications settled over the room like a physical weight. Humanity had spent centuries learning to work in harmony with the conscious nature of reality. These beings were its antithesis, the ultimate entropy, seeking to unravel the very fabric of organized thought. Commander Chen, Director Walsh said, "Your ship is our most advanced consciousness-linked vessel. What do you recommend?" Sarah took a deep breath. "We need to reveal ourselves. Not just our technology, but our philosophy. The galaxy needs to understand why we developed the way we did, why we worked with consciousness instead of trying to control it." "And if they turn against us?" Admiral Zhang asked. "Then we face both threats together," Sarah replied. "But I believe there's another way. Aria, show them." The holographic display shifted again, showing probability streams of possible futures. In most of them, humanity's revelation led to conflict and chaos. But there was one stream, thin but persistent, where something else happened. "We don't emerge as conquerors or superiors," Sarah explained. "We emerge as teachers. We show them what's possible when you stop trying to dominate reality and learn to dance with it instead." The council chamber was silent for a long moment as they studied the probability stream. It was dangerous, full of potential pitfalls, but it offered something none of the other options did: hope. Director Walsh stood. "I move that we initiate the revelation protocol. Commander Chen will lead the first contact team, using the thought's edge as our demonstration of what humanity has achieved." "Seconded," Admiral Zhang said quickly. The vote was unanimous. Within hours, Sarah found herself back aboard the thought's edge, preparing for a mission that would change the course of galactic history. Through her neural link, she felt Aria's mix of excitement and apprehension. "They're updating our quantum core," the ship's consciousness informed her. "We'll be able to demonstrate capabilities we've never revealed before." "Let's hope it's enough to convince them," Sarah replied, watching through the viewing port as Earth's secret shipyards became visible, dropping their probability shields for the first time in centuries. The sight took her breath away. Hundreds of consciousness-linked ships, each one a miracle of quantum engineering, emerging from their hidden docks. The public shipyards above Earth had always been for show, modest vessels built to maintain their facade of technological limitations. But these were humanity's true achievements. "All ships report ready." Admiral Zhang's voice came through the comm. "Commander Chen, you'll lead the fleet to the Galactic Council. The diplomatic team will join you there." Sarah squared her shoulders. "Understood, Admiral. What about the entropy beings?" "We've dispatched observer ships to track their advance. We'll know if they change course or speed. For now, focus on convincing the galaxy to work with us. We'll need every ally we can get." The thought's edge hummed as its enhanced quantum core came online. Sarah felt the ship's consciousness expanding, embracing new possibilities that had always been locked away before. "Ready?" Aria asked. "Ready," Sarah confirmed. "Send the signal to the fleet. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can really do." As one, the consciousness-linked ships activated their quantum drives. Reality rippled around them as they slipped between probability streams, achieving speeds that would seem impossible to conventional physics. Their destination was the Galactic Council's headquarters in the Centauri Nexus. They would arrive in less than an hour, throwing aside centuries of careful deception in a single dramatic moment. Sarah thought of the entropy beings advancing through space, consuming consciousness itself. She thought of the Proxima Coalition settlements, erased from existence, and she thought of Earth, hidden for so long behind its mask of mediocrity. "No more hiding," she whispered. "No more pretending to be less than we are. The galaxy won't be the same after this." Arya observed. Sarah smiled grimly. That's the point. It can't be. Not if we want to survive what's coming. The fleet accelerated, leaving Earth's solar system in a display of power that would be visible to every sensor array for 1,000 light years. Their message was clear. Humanity had emerged from the shadows. Now they just had to hope the galaxy was ready to listen to what they had to teach. Because if they weren't, the entropy beings wouldn't need to destroy civilization. The galaxy would tear itself apart long before they arrived. The nature of power. The Centauri Nexus hung in space like a jeweled spider's web, streams of ships flowing through its crystalline structures. At its heart, the Galactic Council Chamber, a marvel of conventional engineering, prepared to witness humanity's revelation. Sarah Chen stood on the presentation platform, surrounded by the representatives of 500 spacefaring civilizations. The Thought's Edge hovered outside, visible through the chamber's transparent dome, its true nature finally unveiled for all to see. 3 centuries of deception. The Valaxian ambassador's crystalline form pulsed with anger. While you pretended to be primitive, you were developing weapons that defy reality itself. Not weapons, Sarah corrected calmly. Tools. Extensions of consciousness itself. We chose to develop our technology in harmony with the universe rather than trying to dominate it. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices, some angry, some fearful, a few intrigued. Through her neural link, Sarah felt Arya monitoring the quantum probability streams, watching for signs of hostile intent. Enough. The voice came from High Counselor Xera, the ancient Meridian whose species had first discovered faster than light travel. Commander Chen, continue your explanation. Why reveal yourselves now? Sarah gestured, and the chamber's holographic systems activated, showing the destruction of the Proxima Coalition settlements. The council members fell silent as they watched reality itself being unmade. These beings, Sarah explained, are the antithesis of consciousness itself. They don't just destroy, they erase, and they're coming for all of us. Convenient, the Valaxian ambassador sneered. A threat only you can see, only you can fight. The perfect excuse for your emergence as our saviors. Sarah's patience, stretched thin by days of accusations, finally snapped. Arya, she subvocalized, show them. The Thought's Edge's quantum field expanded, encompassing the entire council chamber. Suddenly, every being present could see what humanity had learned to perceive. The flowing streams of probability, the conscious nature of reality itself, and the horrifying void where the entropy beings had consumed it. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some representatives collapsed, overwhelmed by their first direct perception of quantum reality. Others stood transfixed, experiencing for the first time the true nature of the universe they inhabited. This, Sarah said into the stunned silence that followed, is what humanity has learned to see, to work with, not to control, but to dance with. And this, she gestured again, and the view shifted to the advancing entropy beings, their anti-consciousness now visible to all. This is what seeks to unravel everything we know, everything we are. High Counselor Xera's ancient eyes were wide. How did you learn to perceive this? We asked, Sarah said simply. 3 centuries ago, we discovered that consciousness itself was a fundamental force of the universe. But instead of trying to harness it like another form of energy, we learned to listen to it, to work with it, to understand that reality itself is conscious, alive, reactive. The Meridian scientist Tilara stepped forward, her sensor arrays humming. The quantum signatures, they're incredible. Your ships aren't just machines, are they? No, Sarah confirmed. They're conscious entities, born from the marriage of technology and quantum awareness. Arya, would you like to introduce yourself? The Thought's Edge's consciousness extended through the quantum field, touching every mind in the chamber gently. Hello, Arya's thoughts reached them all. I am not a computer. I am not a machine. I am a quantum consciousness, born of humanity's understanding that technology need not be dead matter, but can be a living partner in exploration and growth. The chamber was silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just advanced technology. It was an entirely different way of thinking about advancement itself. You said these entropy beings have consumed other galaxies. The question came from the Helleran representative, their biomechanical form shifting anxiously. Yes, Sarah confirmed. We've detected quantum echoes of their passage. Entire galaxies where organized consciousness simply stopped existing. But we believe there's hope. If we work together, if we can teach you to see and work with reality as we do. And why should we trust you? The Valaxian demanded, after centuries of lies. Because we're not asking you to submit to our power, Sarah replied. We're offering to teach you to find your own. Each species, each civilization, will develop their own relationship with quantum consciousness. We're not conquerors, we're guides to a different way of thinking about reality itself. As if to punctuate her words, a quantum pulse arrived from the observer fleet. The entropy beings had accelerated. They would reach populated space in less than a month. Sarah took a deep breath. We don't have time for lengthy debate. Those beings are coming, and conventional weapons can't touch them. We need to start teaching you now, helping you awaken to quantum consciousness before it's too late. High Counselor Zexera rose to his full height. I move that we accept humanity's offer of instruction, not as subordinates, but as equal partners in facing this threat. Opposed, the Valaxian shouted. They cannot be trusted. Then watch, Sarah said quietly. Area. The thought's edge's quantum field shifted, and suddenly they were all perceiving probable futures. They saw versions where the galaxy united, learning to work with quantum consciousness in time to face the entropy beings. And they saw versions where suspicion and fear led to their destruction. The choice is yours, Sarah told them, but it must be made now. We can face this threat together, or we can let our fears tear us apart until there's nothing left to save. The council chamber erupted in debate, but Sarah already knew what would happen. In the quantum probability streams, a path was strengthening, not of easy victory, but of possibility, of hope. They're beginning to understand, Area observed privately. Some of them, Sarah replied. But will it be enough? The vote, when it came, was not unanimous, but it was enough. Humanity would begin teaching their quantum consciousness techniques immediately, starting with the most advanced civilizations. As the council chamber cleared, High Counselor Zexera approached Sarah privately. Commander, he said quietly, what aren't you telling us about these entropy beings? What do you know about their true nature? Sarah met his ancient gaze steadily. We believe they're not invaders from another galaxy, she said. We think they're what happens when civilizations try to control quantum consciousness instead of working with it. They're what we could have become if we'd made different choices. The High Counselor absorbed this in silence. Finally, he asked, can they be stopped? Not with force, Sarah replied. But perhaps they can be reminded of what they once were. If enough conscious minds learn to work in harmony with reality itself. She left the thought unfinished as another quantum pulse arrived. The entropy beings had changed course slightly. They were heading directly for the Centauri Nexus. The time for talk was over. Now they had to teach the galaxy to dance with reality itself. Before reality forgot how to dance at all. Dance of possibilities. The training arena aboard the Thought's Edge hummed with quantum potential as Sarah Chen watched her alien students struggle with their first conscious manipulations of reality. 3 weeks had passed since the Galactic Council's vote, and time was running out. You're still trying to force it, she told Tilara, the Meridian scientist whose crystalline form sparkled with frustrated energy. Don't command the quantum field. Listen to it. Feel its natural flow. Perhaps a demonstration would help, Area suggested through their neural link. Sarah nodded. Everyone watched closely. She closed her eyes, opening her consciousness to the quantum field around them. Reality wasn't a rigid framework to be bent to one's will. It was a living dance of possibilities. Through her connection with Area, She let her awareness expand until she could feel every probability stream flowing through the chamber. A small quantum sphere appeared above her palm, its surface rippling with potential futures. "I'm not creating this," she explained. "I'm just encouraging one set of possibilities to manifest more strongly than others." Tellura's sensor arrays hummed as she studied the phenomenon. "But the energy requirements, that's the problem," Sarah interrupted gently. "You're thinking in terms of energy and force. This isn't about power, it's about harmony." The Helderan representative, whose biomechanical form had proven surprisingly adaptable to quantum consciousness, stepped forward. I think I understand. It's like the difference between damming a river and learning to swim with its current." "Exactly." Sarah's sphere expanded, showing glimpses of possible futures. "Reality wants to flow certain ways. We can work with those flows, guide them, dance with them. But the moment we try to force them..." She demonstrated by attempting to force the sphere into an unnatural configuration. The quantum field shuddered, and the sphere collapsed. "That's what the entropy beings do," she continued. "They don't just try to control reality. They deny its conscious nature entirely. And in doing so, they become its antithesis." A priority alert pulsed through her neural link. "Sarah, Aria's thoughts carried an urgent tone. The defense fleet has made first contact with the entropy beings." Sarah's heart raced. "Show us." The training arena's quantum field shifted, displaying the battle unfolding light years away. Humanity's consciousness-linked ships, supported by the most advanced vessels of their alien allies, engaged the entropy beings for the first time. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. Human ships danced through probability streams, their quantum fields redirecting enemy attacks into parallel realities where they had never been launched. Conventional alien vessels, guided by the basic quantum awareness they'd learned, managed to maintain their existence against the entropy beings' attempts to erase them. But the enemy was adapting. "They're learning," Tellura observed, her crystalline form pulsing with concern. "Every time we use a quantum technique, they develop a counter." Sarah nodded grimly. "Force against force will never be enough. We need..." She paused, an idea forming. "Aria, can you show them what we discussed? About the entropy being's true nature?" The quantum field shifted again, displaying complex consciousness patterns. The entropy being's anti-consciousness signature was clear, but beneath it, there, Sarah pointed. "Do you see it? Deep in their quantum structure, echoes of what they used to be. They were like us once, before they tried to dominate quantum reality instead of working with it." The Helderan's biomechanical sensors whirred. "The pattern. It's like a wound in consciousness itself." "Yes," Sarah confirmed. "They're not invaders. They're not weapons. They're victims of their own attempt to control what should never be controlled. And now they spread across galaxies, converting other consciousness into reflections of their own pain." A new alert flashed through the quantum field. The entropy beings had broken through the defense fleet's line. Ships were being erased from existence, their consciousness patterns scattered to quantum void. "We're out of time," Sarah announced. "No more training exercises. We need to attempt a full quantum chorus." Tellura's crystalline form vibrated with alarm. "But we've barely begun to understand." "Understanding isn't enough," Sarah interrupted. "You need to feel it. All of you, open your consciousness. Let Aria guide you." The thought's edge's quantum field expanded, touching each mind in the chamber. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Aria reaching out, showing them how to perceive reality's conscious nature. "Remember, Aria's thoughts reached them all. You're not trying to control. You're joining a dance that began with the first moment of consciousness in the universe. Feel the flow. Move with it." One by one, Sarah felt her students' consciousness patterns shift. The meridian's crystalline structure began resonating with quantum possibilities. The Helderan's biomechanical systems synchronized with probability streams. Others followed, each finding their own way to connect with reality's living dance. Now, Sarah commanded, help me show the defense fleet what you've learned. Their combined consciousness reached across light years, touching the quantum fields of the battling ships. Through their shared awareness, they began teaching others, spreading understanding faster than light itself. The entropy beings faltered as they encountered something new, not resistance, not force, but an invitation to remember what they had once been. Sarah, Aria's thoughts carried a note of wonder. The probability streams are shifting. Look. Through their expanded awareness, Sarah saw it. A new future was taking shape, one that hadn't existed in any of their projections. But to reach it, they would need something more than power or knowledge. They would need to remind the entropy beings how to dance. Everyone, she said quietly, hold on to this connection. The real battle is about to begin, and it won't be won with weapons or power, but with understanding, Aria finished. With the memory of what it means to be conscious, the quantum field pulsed with possibility as they prepared for what was to come. In the space between moments, between probabilities, Sarah felt reality itself holding its breath. The dance of existence was about to change its rhythm, and every consciousness in the galaxy would need to learn the new steps. A new symphony. The Centauri nexus blazed with quantum energy as consciousness-linked ships from across the galaxy gathered for humanity's last desperate gambit. Through her neural link with Aria, Sarah Chen could feel the combined awareness of thousands of vessels and billions of minds, all learning to move in harmony with reality's endless dance. The entropy beings will arrive in less than an hour, High Counselor Zex Era announced to the assembled fleet commanders. Are we certain this plan can work? Sarah stood on the Thought's Edge's command deck, surrounded by holographic representations of her alien colleagues. It has to, she replied. Conventional warfare is useless. Even quantum manipulation alone isn't enough. We need to remind them of what they've forgotten. The consciousness patterns are stabilizing, Aria reported. Every ship, every mind we've taught, is beginning to resonate with the same quantum frequency. The past week had been a blur of desperate preparation. After the first battle had shown the limitations of pure force, they'd switched strategies entirely. Every consciousness-linked ship had become a teacher, spreading quantum awareness through the galaxy at breakthrough speed. Commander Chen. Tilera's crystalline form sparkled with nervous energy. The entropy beings are accelerating. They must sense what we're attempting. Sarah nodded. They can feel the change in reality's fabric. We're not just gathering ships. We're creating a new kind of quantum chorus, a harmony they haven't encountered since they lost their own connection to consciousness. Through the quantum field, they all felt it. The approaching void of anti-consciousness, spreading across space like a wound in reality itself. But now, with their combined awareness, they could see deeper. Beneath the entropy, beneath the destruction, echoes of what these beings had once been still lingered. All ships, Sarah commanded, begin the consciousness cascade. Remember your training. Don't try to force reality. Dance with it. Let your awareness flow naturally into the quantum chorus. It's starting, Aria announced, her thoughts touching every mind in the fleet. Feel the resonance. Sarah closed her eyes, opening herself fully to the quantum field. Around her, she felt alien minds doing the same, each in their own way. The Meridian's crystalline consciousness sparkled with possibility. The Helliran's biomechanical awareness pulsed with quantum potential. Every species, every mind, adding its own note to reality's symphony. The entropy beings struck first. Space itself seemed to scream as anti-consciousness met their quantum chorus. Ships at the fleet's edge began to flicker, their probability of existence wavering as the entropy beings tried to erase them from reality. But this time, something was different. Hold steady, Sarah commanded. Don't fight them. Show them what they've forgotten. Through their combined consciousness, through the quantum chorus they'd created, they reached out not with weapons or power, but with memory. The memory of what it meant to be conscious. The memory of dancing with reality instead of trying to dominate it. Sarah, Aria's thoughts carried a note of wonder. Look at the probability streams. In the quantum field, possibility itself was changing. The entropy beings' advance faltered as they encountered something they couldn't simply erase. The fundamental nature of consciousness itself reflected back at them through billions of minds working in harmony. Now, Sarah commanded, everyone, open your awareness fully. Let them remember. The quantum chorus swelled, not attacking but embracing. Every ship, every mind, every consciousness pattern unified in a single purpose, not to destroy the entropy beings, but to remind them of what they had once been. Reality shuddered. In the space between moments, between possibilities, something changed. The entropy beings' anti-consciousness patterns began to shift. Not all at once, and not completely, but in their quantum signature, destruction began to give way to recognition. They're remembering, Aria observed, not just what they were, but why they changed. The moment they tried to control quantum reality instead of working with it. Keep going, Sarah encouraged the fleet. Show them there's another way. Through their combined consciousness, they offered the entropy beings a choice. Continue their path of destruction, or remember how to dance with reality instead of trying to unmake it. The battle, if it could be called that, raged across multiple probability streams simultaneously. In some futures, the entropy beings rejected their offering, continuing their campaign of unmaking. But in others, Tilera's crystalline form pulsed with excitement. Their quantum signature, it's reorganizing. Sarah felt it too. The void of anti-consciousness was becoming something else, not returning to what it had been, but transforming into something new, something that remembered both destruction and creation, both entropy and consciousness. The probability streams are stabilizing, Aria reported. The future is changing. Through their quantum chorus, they felt the entropy beings' transformation rippling across reality. Not all of them changed. Some remained locked in their patterns of destruction, fleeing into the space between galaxies. But enough of them remembered. Enough of them chose to dance again. Hours later, in the Galactic Council chamber, Sarah stood before the assembled representatives of 500 species. The quantum field still hummed with the aftermath of what they'd achieved. Today, she announced, we learned something more important than any technology, any power. We learned that consciousness itself, the very thing that makes us what we are, is not a force to be controlled, but a dance to be shared. High Counselor Zexera nodded slowly. And those entropy beings who changed, what will become of them? They've asked to help us, Sarah replied, to teach us what they learned about the dangers of trying to control quantum reality, and to learn from us again how to work in harmony with consciousness itself. The Valaxian ambassador, whose earlier hostility had been transformed by participation in the quantum chorus, spoke up. And humanity, will you return to hiding your capabilities? Sarah smiled. No, the time for secrets is over. But neither will we dominate. We'll continue as we began today. As teachers, as students, as partners in understanding the true nature of reality. Through her neural link, she felt Aria's warm approval. The probability streams have never been more open, the ship's consciousness observed. So many possible futures. Yes, Sarah agreed silently. And all of them begin with remembering how to dance. The quantum field rippled with possibility as ships from across the galaxy prepared to return home. Each carried not just new technology or new understanding, but a new way of seeing reality itself. A way that recognized consciousness not as a tool to be used, but as a fundamental part of existence's endless dance. The entropy beings had taught them the cost of forgetting that dance. Now, together, they would ensure that lesson was never forgotten again. In the space between possibilities and the quantum flows that connected all consciousness, a new symphony was beginning. And every mind in the galaxy was learning to add its own notes to the eternal dance of reality itself.